Hello again, Honky Tonks. Now, I take no pleasure in saying this, but I think the royal family and the monarchy, it's had its day. Wouldn't you agree? And it saddens me to say that because obviously I'm a former serving British Army soldier. I took the oath of allegiance back in 97, 98, and I meant every word when I took it. It meant a lot to me. Joining the army lifted me from a life of poverty and where there was no opportunity or nothing for me whatsoever. Completely changed me and made me who I am today. I have a lot to be grateful for joining the British Army. The best thing I ever did in life was join up. The better thing I did was leave. But that's another video for another time. Now, the royal family were held in great reverence in the British Army. Well, it did back in my day anyway. My regiment really loved the Queen. She was our Colonel-in-Chief, and she was seen like some kindly grandmother, if you know what I mean. She wasn't the colonel of every regiment, but those who had the Queen as Colonel-in-Chief of their regiment, we were really proud of it. We even liked Prince Philip. A lot of people like Prince Philip because he was a man of his time. He didn't hold any punches. He spoke his mind, said what he thought, and was kind of a man's man, an action man, and people loved him for that, which is in stark contrast to the buffoon who currently sits on the throne. I'm talking, of course, about King Charles III. Now, I've never liked the guy myself, ever. He's just not his mother. Those shoes are too big for him to fill. He will never have the same love and respect that his mother commanded easily. I mean, he couldn't do it now. Nothing he could do now would elevate him to her level whatsoever. And I think it's rather obvious now why she held out until her last breath to pass the crown to her son, because she knew, both her and her husband Philip, what he really was, a foppish, woke goon, probably with no patriotic bone in his body. And they knew he'd be a complete F-up in what he's doing, and you know, I think he really is an absolute tool of a man. And he started off as a twat as well, early on in his reign. Remember, he lost his temper for some reason in that golden carriage on the way to his coronation. He lost his temper with a pen because it wasn't working. It took Camilla to calm him down. And he embarrassed one of his secretaries, an equerry, I believe, when he wanted some paperwork and an inkwell moved off his table, and the way he did it, he went like that in front of everyone. I thought, what an asshole. So yeah, a pompous, spoilt brat who's always had his way, and now he's king. Nah, not for me, thank you very much. The guy talks to plants, cheated on Princess Diana for Camilla, and he wanted to be Camilla's Tampax. Oh. Anyway, sorry to give you that vision. And I believe he's also unpatriotic to the core. He has made speeches congratulating Davos, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization. He's bleated on about the Great Reset, and he's made speeches encouraging a new world order. What does that tell you? And I think his latest act is, it just shows what he really is, really. I mean, I don't think he gives a toss about the British people. Now, I know he could step in if he wanted to, because he knows what Keir Starmer is doing, and he obviously agrees with him. Then again, I think if he did and call Keir Starmer to Buckingham Palace and tell him to rein it in, then all Keir Starmer has to do is threaten him with a referendum on the monarchy, and the monarchy's on thin ice anyway, and they'd be gone. So yeah, he sat there in his palace watching Keir Starmer doing what he does, and he won't put his own royal family at risk to save his own people. What a coward. I mean, the monarchy has great powers, but they don't exercise them through that fear of having a public referendum on whether to keep the monarchy or not. The king can take a stroll down to Parliament and close it down just like that. He can fire the Prime Minister as well, but he daren't. All those titles, the billions of pounds of British money, the land, the income, the power, the privilege, position, everything is more important to him than the plight of his people. Even the late Queen, she stood in. She walked into a Crown Court, didn't she? Was it the trial of Paul Burrell, Diana's old butler, when she insisted he was innocent and and that was that. So yeah, she knew the guy was innocent, and she went out of her way to make sure that he walked away a free man. But back to Charles and his latest act of what I think is treason, to be honest with you. Now, his late mother, back in 2018, she gave the go-ahead for a submarine to be built, and it was to be called Agincourt. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Battle of Agincourt was fought in 1415, 25th of August, St. Crispin's Day, between Henry V and I think it was Charles VI of France. The English completely annihilated a far superior French force, which had thousands of cavalry, thanks to the Welsh bowmen. If I got anything wrong there, then please correct me in the comments. So yeah, it's the battle that made Henry V, and it's a well-known, famous British battle. And we won. It was all part of the 100 Years' War. Henry gained massive land in France. He was, he insisted on being made the heir to the French king, and that was that. So the new submarine was meant to be named to commemorate that and celebrate that. But alas, in stepped King Charles and says, no, that name is insulting to the French, and now she's going to be called HMS Achilles. Charlie. So why care about whether anything insults the French? To be honest with you, not the French people, but the French government. The French government insults Britain, our government, our monarchy, our people every day when they allow thousands of illegal migrants to just leave their shores across the channel every day, even encouraging them. We pay them billions every year to police their own northern coasts, and they're taking the piss. It's okay for the French to still have that line in their national anthem about killing English people. So yeah, who cares about insulting the French bleeding government? Sodom. What next? They're going to rename Waterloo train station into, I don't know, Rainbow Land train station? I wouldn't put it past this woke government and King Charles, would you, to name Waterloo into Rainbow Land train station. Some older British Army regiments even have battle victories against French forces on their colours, the flags that they have. Waterloo being one of them. What's going to happen then? All that battle honour's gone because they insult the countries? Is that what's going to happen? I think it is. So yeah, any English, British monarch, king, queen would be proud to have a submarine named after a famous a battle like that, like Agincourt. But no, not King Charles. And, you know, you wonder why, being the kind of dude that he is. Prince Philip must be rolling in his grave, looking at what his doofus son is up to as king. And I wouldn't blame him. And it's yet another episode of the powers that be changing British history to suit its own ends, taking away any joy, victory we had in the past, anything glorious, and just erasing it. Because when you erase people's history, you erase their identity, and then you erase their hope, and you erase anything they have of fighting that off, and then it becomes weak and easily conquerable. Yuri Bezmenov, again, I will always mention that guy's name, weakening a nation, making it ripe for taking over, and that's what we're seeing right now. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really happy with the name Achilles as a name for a British ship, because ultimately Achilles had a weakness, didn't he, in his ankle or the heel, and that's how he died. The Trojan prince Paris shot him there with an arrow and he was gone. Don't know how that would happen though. How would an arrow shot into your foot kill you? I don't know. Anyway, answers in the comments. And there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, Roger Trout.